I guess we'll go ahead and start. Everybody is going to be late arrivals, and they'll just have to be late. But this is not my meeting. This is yours. And I've laid the handouts out that you can look at, read, ask questions, and if you got anything to say, I'm not going to call people's names out. They can stand up, say what they want to, ask a question, they can give their name if they want to. If they don't want to, that's fine. I don't want to point anybody out. But after you read these, if you have already got questions, or if you got some information that you'd like to disseminate, that would be awesome. I'm going to be taking notes. So whoever wants to start off, just go right ahead. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Could you, I haven't really kept up with all the detail, but could you clarify the status of this effort, as I now understand it, officially with the vote being negative in respect of moving this forward? If that's true, then what are the next steps? Do we just start all over again with things, or can you clarify that? Please?
No, so the straw poll is not a win-lose type piece of legislation. It's just to show interest in a piece of proposed legislation, and there was quite a bit of interest. I mean, we have more than 2,300 votes, even though there was 373 different votes difference in between option 1 and option 2. And I figured a lot of people were confused about the wording, and they voted for option 1 instead of option 2. I didn't write it. The lawyers down at the Capitol wrote it. I didn't have anything to do with writing it. Basically, a lot of this stuff's taken out of my hands now because it's gotten that far. And so we lost a lot of votes because it wasn't on the bipartisan ballot. Okay. In order to get it on the ballot, the Republican and the Democrat of this county has to pay to put it on the ballot. It costs about $40,000 to put that straw poll on each ballot. And so whoever's in charge of the bipartisan ballot didn't want to pay to do that. So we lost a lot of votes there. But it was so close in the votes. We had a lot of interest. So even
that's if they're coming. So even though it wasn't on the bipartisan vote, there was still only a difference of 300 and some.
See, 373. I figured that maybe 1,500 people voted against option 2 or voted for option 1 because they didn't understand it. And there's about probably 1,000 people voted for option 1 just on principle. No reason, they just don't want seniors to have the tax exemption for some reason. So I was told and I'm not going to say who told me this, I was told that there's enough interest in it to push it forward. So that's what we're doing now, and I was told to hold one more meeting, get people's opinions, pro and con, and of course, I only had this night. If you notice, there's no politicians here because they're at the precincts, they're at their offices. But I wanted it Monday night, I wanted it Wednesday night, I wanted it Thursday night. I couldn't, because all those nights were taken this week in school. Tuesday night was the only one that was available. So I took it, even though I knew it was runoffs. But the school's going to be closed beginning Friday, and they're going to be closed for most of August for renovation. So I had to do this now. And I think I've got a pretty good crowd. I think it's pretty good. Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Anybody else wants to say anything, just stand up. If you got some information, I'm going to be taking notes. This will be going to Craig Jasper, Senator Gooch, and Senator Payne. They have got copies of these plans. They have been changed. They're a little bit different from what I originally wrote them. But these plans that you have here, and you've read them. Oh, and I have used the back and front of the paper, well, it's got some of the changes in it that were suggested by both the head of the Democrat Party and the Republican Party of the county based on discussions with our 3 political leaders. Gooch, Payne, and Jaspers. So those changes have been made. Gooch, Payne, and Jaspers has copies of these, so they can see that the changes were made. So the next step is just getting it through the process down at the Capitol. These are pieces of legislation. Some people don't understand this. This county cannot handle this privately. You know, the commissioners can't do anything. It'd be nice if we had their backing, but they want to wash their hands of it. They think they forget it or don't pay attention to it, will go away. But it's went too far from that now. It's going somewhere.
Amen.
So when these, based on tonight's meeting, and I got a nice handwritten letter from Representative Rick Jasper, handwritten, not typed, wasn't all done on the machine. And he apologized, he couldn't be here tonight, but he was going to be out of town to the voting process that's going on, probably down at Casey Kate's office, waiting on the results. But I really appreciated that. That was really nice for him to do that.
I hate to keep asking questions, but, and maybe this is an awkward question, but I don't sense the leadership at the state level, our representatives, nor at the county level, wanted to do more than stay out of it and merely provide information on how to conduct the process. Do you believe that some or all of them really understand the nature of the effort and the value it would add to the county if it did proceed?
I don't think they do. Rob Jones, Darren Satterfield, Roy Dobbs, they don't. As Rob Jones said, I don't have a dog in this hunt.
Oh. Is that because he's younger, or is there another reason why he doesn't feel like he has a dog?
I don't know. He's been against me from the beginning. All of them have. I've had to pull 2,000 hands to get information from these people. They're adamantly against it for some reason, and they shouldn't be. Yes, ma'am.
Lee, speaking of Rob Jones, we fought the county for 3 years. And they said because we had a business, everything that came across our counter went in our pocket. And I said, that would have been nice. But it didn't happen. It's like, who pays for the supplies? Who pays for everything? What comes across the counter pays for it. So I went to the equalization. Of course, I went to Roy and Stephanie, and they just said, forget it. Went to the equalization board. That was a joke. That was an absolute joke.
Yes.
I should have just got up and left. I took a picture of our business. I took a picture of our house. And I said, now, if you're combining these two, then what we need to do is we need to close the store and move it to our house. And just put everything on the corner, and if you like that, then that's what we'll do. You want to combine these two. Okay, so we lost that. I said, next step. Well, you can go to Superior Court. I said, fine. So we paid $200, got all the paperwork done, took it back, and Stephanie said, who's your attorney? And I said, I don't have one. She said, you know, you're going to Superior Court. I said, I know that. She said, you're going to go before a judge. I said, I know that too. She said, well, what are you going to do? I said, I talked with Ed Marger. God, he's not here anymore. And Ed said I didn't need an attorney. She said, Ed wouldn't do that. I said, call him and ask him. So she said, what are you going to do? I said, well, here's our plan. We're going with God, me, and my accountant. And that's what we're going to do. So we did. Backing it up, went to see, called Jasper. He never returned my phone calls. Called him about 3 times to help us. He wouldn't do it. Called and talked with Rob Jones after someone had come in that I was talking to at the store. And somehow or other we got talking about it, and they said, we know all about you. And I said, really? And they said, yeah. I was standing there when Roy Dobbs and Stephanie were talking about you. I said, okay. He said, I told them they were wrong. And they said, no, she's wrong. He said, no, 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 you're wrong. So the accountant and myself go to meet Rob Jones. Get in there, and who's there? But the person that I was talking to. And Rob said to this person, he said, what do you know? He said, I've got it up on my computer. They're wrong. The Elys are not wrong. So he said, Mrs. Ely, you stay here. You don't need to be seen with this person. And then he said, go get the papers. So he brought it back. Sure enough, we're supposed to have the senior tax exemption. But another customer came in and said, they're moving to Cherokee County, just in Ball Ground, out of Pickens County, and the statement was, hell no, that's never going to go through. And that's from the tax office.
Yeah.
So, my question is, if we're hurting these children, why did they not spend the money, the $1.3 million, on the computers and the children instead of doing the football court?
I agree.
I mean, excuse me, not everybody's going to be an athlete. So, if they could spend the money on astroturfing, they don't need our money.
No.
They don't need to astroturf anything else. A student told me, Mrs. Ely, they don't spend the money on anything but sports. They are not taking care of us.
And they raised the, this year, the budget, the school budget is going to be $47.5 million. In less than 2 years, it went from $42.3 million to $47.5 million.
For what?
Is
More
that-
astroturf?
That's what I want to know.
Our son is going to be 57 next week. Our daughter's 55. We paid school tax for our kids for 39 years. Hello?
Right.
Do you think we paid our share?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we've all paid our share. So the ones that have kids in school, let them step up to the plate and pay for it.
Yeah, we all agree.
It's-
Everybody agrees.
It's not about the money. They don't need more money.
No, they don't. Not unless they're going to astroturf something else. I mean, who knows?
It's just points.
It's just, it's on principle, I think. They're afraid of losing control.
What's our involvement?
There's
I'm sure they
4,453
work.
students so far.
Seriously.
And they can tell on some of that paperwork I handed out to you that we
Yep.
spend more per student than the other counties that have a senior tax.
That's right.
4,000, how many?
453 or 54, something like that. 1,453 or 54 students.
Well, if you talk to the other counties, and I mean, we have people in all the time from other counties, and they aren't hurting.
No, they're
They
not.
aren't hurting. But let me tell you, if you don't call on the tax office, hey, you're going to be paying for other things. I mean, when our value on our house dropped, I went to the tax office and said, my value dropped almost 50%. Why have you not lowered my taxes? Oh, we don't do that. You have to ask us. I said, okay, give me the papers. I went out and did the work, and they dropped it. So, if you want to lay down and go for it, go for it. But I'm not.
They didn't drop it 50% though. I know I've been up there about 5-6 times when every year they'll drop it a little bit, drop it a little bit, drop it a little bit.
No, ours went, and I'm talking about back in, whatever year that was when
06.
everything was dropping.
Yes.
And ours really bottomed. And it's like, we're still paying the same tax.
I'm saying the taxes, but they won't drop the value of the house that fast.
Oh, no, but they did go along because I had to go out and do all the survey work of the repossessions and who sold what and all that stuff. Hey, I don't mind doing the work. But somebody's got to go do it. If not, you all are going to just go ahead and just go along. You know the story? If you put a frog in a pan of water and you turn the heat up slowly, it'll never jump. But if you take that frog and throw it in hot water, it's out of there.
I've got a question about this. This is all done by legislatures.
Yeah.
Why is it not consistent between every county? I don't understand that. If the same people are writing up these, what do you call these, the bills, why aren't they the same? Why is every county different as far as like age and,
Some are
the,
62 and some are 60.
We have different
well, but I'm
legislatures.
saying, every county that has this
We
is
have
different.
different people, right?
Some of them exclude all.
Yes, the states do this study. This is involved, very involved work done by the state. Excuse me. They do these, not surveys, but they go in and do all this math. I mean, it's very in-depth. Oh, furball. It's very in-depth what they do as far as deciding how much a county can afford as opposed to how many seniors they got. Now,
You think it'd be
unless
this-
you got a good representative like David Ralston. Now, he did his county, Gilmer County, really good. He did it himself. Now, he went to the commissioners and told them, this is what I'm doing. I'm giving the seniors in this county 100% exemption. So if you got a good representative that'll work for you to get that 100% exemption, you're gonna get it.
That's the difference.
That's right.
So it's our representative.
That's right.
Yep.
We need new representatives.
Yeah, another problem in this county is reassessments. This county is in badly need of having reassessments done. We hadn't had one done since 2000. There is such inequity, mine included, on people's fair market values, it's not even funny anymore. It's past the joke part. And we need it done, and the only way we're gonna get it done is change the leadership.
That's right.
All right, so we're newer to this area. We moved up from the south side, so we've only been here about 10 months. So when you say it hasn't been reassessed and that we're so out of balance, is that to the high side, the low side, or what are?
Both.
Okay.
Both, vacant landowners pay very little in taxes. Yes, sir.
Yes, talking about our representative, I'm gonna back up, but a little while before Rick Jasper's ever run for the House Representative. I went to it. I'm sorry?
Can you speak up?
Yes, I went to Rick Jasper before he run for his position. And I talked to him about the school senior taxes. He said, well, I asked him, I said, will you help us? He says, I keep hearing that. He said, I certainly will. He says, I don't know if we can get anything done or not, but he said, I will get back with you. You take my name and my phone number. A day before the election, I still hadn't heard from him. And I called him. And, well, he said, I did check into this. But he says the previous school board wasted a lot of money. Well, we got a board in there now that's not wasting money. I said, Rick, you didn't answer my question. You know, he hung up on me.
Oh, yeah.
My grandson has emailed me 4 times. My grandson is a school teacher, and he does not teach in Pickens County. But he emailed Rick 4 times. He did not, with no response whatsoever. Okay? Ron Jones is going to have opposition. If we want to do anything, we need to vote these people out.
Amen.
Ron Jones is going to have opposition this time.
In 2020, yes.
And it's going to be, some of you may have already heard, some of you may not have. Chris Stansel will be running against him. And I think that that's the man for the job.
That's
Roy
one person,
Dobbs.
there's gonna be several.
Let's go to Roy Dobbs.
Who wants to go there?
He has nothing to do with Roy Dobbs. He says, he does not answer to me. He's appointed by the board, but Rob appoints the board.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
I'm sorry, what's wrong with the picture? You know, so everyone needs to remember, Rick Jasper has opposition this time. It's a Democrat. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican.
Amen.
Anybody vote against him.
That's right.
We
And
tried last time. and it didn't work.
also, some of you got your handheld week. Look and see how much tax that Rick Jasper pays in this county.
How about Roy Young's?
Oh, that's another
Well,
one. Oh,
Well,
that's
look at
another
Rick
story.
Jasper. That will really get you. Rick has a home and 10 acres of land and pays $500 something a year taxes.
Probably does at the farm.
because it's a farm. He
Yeah.
might not even own a
He's
tractor.
probably having had been land trust too.
They probably don't even have, probably don't have crap.
Maybe not a power.
Yeah,
Boy,
or
that
as far as conservation
Yeah.
forest.
Yes, he does, you know, but he's not gonna help us because it's not costing him, he don't care.
Well, he's been against me, and when I started this, a little over, it's been about 3.5 years ago, I called and talked to him about it. And he was against it because he said that the county can't afford it. Well, through my research, I found that the county can afford it. Is Kevin here?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Stand up and tell your story.
Oh, I didn't know what they want to.
Yeah.
Well, it has, I live on the west side, Kevin Thief's my name, and it also has to do with Roy Dobbs and the board. I have, all right, I have a lot of unimproved land over in South Bar Highlands, and they have had the values really, really high. And I took them, in March, I took them a letter with a lot of detailed information, like you did, about what things are really selling for. And they're charging double what things are selling for. Typical property is selling for $6,000, $5,000. They have it back at $11,500, $12,500. Another thing I found, and this is no secret, by mistake I found, if you live in another state, or if you live in another county, your lot may be valued at $12,500, whereas someone next to you is $11,500. That's the only thing I can figure out. When I looked at the lots, they're exactly the same, unimproved lots. So my letter that I took in person to the board in March, in time for our 2018 assessments, and I said, you gotta look at this because your values are too high. Absolutely nothing was done. They must have taken it and put it in the shredder. And I did a lot of work. Sales analysis, talked to realtors, took Q Public, all the information, and when I got my tax bills, nothing was changed. Had to fight it again, and I have won, but it's still not the level that I think. But anyway, I agree with what you're doing, and I haven't had a chance to look at the different plans, but they look good.
No, thank you.
So let's keep fighting Roy Dobbs and them there. They're not doing their job.
They're not.
They're not doing their job.
What's the justification criteria for yours being different than others? Did they even give you
They will not give me
information?
anything, and I agree, the Board of Equalization is a joke as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I took my neighbor with me because I wanted her to see what was going on, and
It's a joke.
it is a
Did you
joke.
want her to be entertained that day? It's kind of an entertainment thing to go to.
No, it's
Oh,
kind of
no.
disappointing because
Yeah.
I didn't want to be disappointed and I really was. These
Well-
people were just like,
Yeah, the county had all these fancy colored graphs and,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you know, everyone is 11.5 and they're not complaining, so,
That's the same thing that happened to me. I'll tell you my story, but you didn't deal with that.
Yes, excuse me for coming a little bit late. I'm a late comer to this battle, but that's all right. Reinforcements come at the last minute. And by the way, Pickens County, you're not the only ones in it. I own property up there in Fannin County, and the tentacles of Atlanta landed up there too. So but I'm here to find out the truth because there's a lot of information, misinformation out there, and I just wanted to ask the learned colleagues here. I have been told that our school M&O portions of our property taxes is sent back down to the state and it's reapportioned back to the county. Is that true and correct?
Yes.
Well, then how in the world did this county get nailed the way it is? I'm trying to figure out. I worked in the federal government for a long time. Don't hold that against me. But I dealt with a lot of states. And I've seen dysfunctions, believe me, at big scales. And I just thought, because I've never paid personally, my wife and I, we never paid taxes so high until we came into this county.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how Fannin County can do their schools up there at a lot less M&O rate. And I come over here and I'm paying this and I'm going like the gentleman talking about, no, I think it's Luddy. I took care of my children, the issues of my flesh, using a biblical term. Took care of them, paid them all the way through. But now it seems like I'm being browbeat that I better be paying this because, well, you've done well and you need to pay more. Well, the last time I checked in that's called socialism. And I thought America stood for, making it your way.
You hit it
And
on the head.
I believe in the Christian value of taking care of the poor, but it gets to a point, folks, wait a minute. And so, and again, I'm here to learn, and whatever I can do, I've stood up against commissioners and did okay. They didn't put me in jail and thought about it. But anyway, and I'm glad to see this group here. I was hoping maybe we'd have a couple thousand. But anyway, but I'm glad to hear that that's not misinformation is that I'm just wondering how, because for funds to go out and be brought back in, the county has to apply somehow or other to get that money back. And, you know, could somebody explain that, why the needs of the children, because this is a small county.
Yeah.
And I don't understand this, and maybe somebody here could do that. And I appreciate our relinquish the floor.
Part of the problem in this county is that nobody wants to admit it, but it's the good old boy.
Yeah,
That's
right. It is.
And
The good old boys run
that's a
this
lot
county.
of the problem here.
That's right.
And yes, we have tried to vote Jones out before to get rid of some of the, put some new blood in. Not the good old boys that I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back, which a lot of that does go on here. Yeah, but it's
One thing about what you were talking about is the state rates this county as a rich county, tier 4. That's why we don't get all of our money. I don't know why this is a poor county. I don't know what jacks it up, but they rate us as a
Big canoe and Bentry. Big canoe and Bentry.
Probably. The elected officials in this county are under the assumption that all of us seniors are rich. Yeah, we should be able to pay those kids. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Where do we go from this meeting tonight? Are the legislators that have helped you already, are they going to go forward with this, or?
That's under discussion, and from what I have been told, yes, they will go forward. We will be watched by, she's taking it, so the legislators that are busy at their offices and everything tonight with the the elections. That's a moment.
Yeah, we can all relate.
They couldn't be here tonight, but they will be watching this on their computer as soon as that Mary can get it on there and push forward. Now, I have something planned in September. It won't be a meeting like this, but it's going to be a surprise. I'll let everybody know when I see it and everything. Right now, I'm working on it. But you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a good surprise. So I've got to cement some things. There's a lot going, you know, the iceberg, the majority of it's underwater. That's what's going on now. There's a lot of things going on in the background that nobody knows anything about.
You never know anything in this county.
But I can't relate some of the information to you. I'm sorry, I just can't. There's so much going on in the background and so many plans I have made with other people that are going to help me with this. And as soon as I learn something and it's okay for me to make it public, I will.
You're talking about good things going on.
Oh yeah, good things going on. Yes.
What about the group that created the fancy website and really sabotaged us?
The disrespect.
Is any one of them here tonight?
I guess they didn't show up according to all the internet.
They said they were for a change, they just wanted to do it on their own, which they can't do.
No, they can't.
We knew that, we learned that.
They don't understand that this county cannot do it on their own. Rock Jones cannot do this on his own. The commissioners cannot do it. This is a piece of legislature that has to be approved by the House, it has to be approved by the Senate, and it has to be signed by the governor.
Good.
This is not a local thing.
You
Yeah,
have to be
it'd be
voted on,
nice
you know.
to have the locals, commissioners behind us. But it can be done without
If
them.
they wanted to help, which they insinuated in all this fancy website, then tonight was their chance to be here.
Exactly.
And
They
let's
don't.
all discuss it.
Exactly, they don't want to. They don't want to. They rely on opinions and misinformation. They don't bother to do any research and come and discuss it. That's what this was for. The pro and the cons, discussing things, getting ideas, not yelling and screaming like some of them have been doing, but, share information. If you have something you want to say and you're against the seniors, getting an exemption, why are you against it?
Well, I'm against me being a senior.
Well, I'm not, I'm just glad I'm here. I'm hoping I'm gonna be here for a long time, so I don't mind being a senior.
So being like the gentleman back there that were late to the game also, what is it that's actually going to move forward? You said it's going to move forward and it's going to the
These
state.
tax plans.
So these actual possible bills?
They could change it now. This is a legalized copy of it.
Right. So they'll number these bills and they'll go to Congress, state Congress. And
it'll be, House Bill number so-and-so,
Right.
by so-and-so. Now, there could be changes made once it gets down to the lawyers down at the Capitol. But Gooch, Payne, and Jasper each has a copy of this. So it's pretty much out of my hands now. It'll be left up to them.
so these are the two bills that made it though, is the ones that are moving
Well,
forward.
these, I had 4 of them, A, B, C, and D. A wasn't accepted because it was 100% for everybody 62 and over, it didn't matter what your income was. Okay, that got cast aside. D was a tier, C was a tiered level. You get a certain amount at 62, another amount at 65, and another amount at 70, until finally you get 100%. They didn't like that one either. So these 2 was accepted, B and D, with a few changes that I had to make.
So just so I can understand this, so the gist of this is that what we're really trying to do is to stop seniors, 62 and older, I guess, from having to pay tax on any earned income, not counting Social Security, not counting
Well,
Medicaid.
it doesn't say earned income, it just says $40,000 anyway you get it, it's just $40,000, but that's not counting Social Security.
Right.
That's a big chunk of people's income.
Right, well, I know it mentions Social Security in both of these, so are they saying that that's still supposed to be included or not? Shall not
No,
include
it's
income?
excluded. Social Security
Okay.
is excluded along with the Medicaid income.
Right.
That'll help a lot more people. And you have a chance, after you take, say you got, okay, you do your taxes and you got a total amount of money on this line. This is your income. Then the tax office will subtract your Social Security from that income. And if it's above the 40,000, you don't get the exemption. But if it's below the 40,000, you get the exemption. And really, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Right.
So, and then the $100,000 is, that's off the, okay, you got your fair market value. You pay 40%. 40% of the fair market value is what you pay taxes on. Then you subtract the $5,000 that the exemption you get, everybody gets the homestead exemption,
Right.
5,000, but you still have to apply for it.
Right.
And the 100,000 comes off of that. So if you take 40% of your fair market value, subtract the 5,000 from it, and then that's left, then the 100,000 comes off of that. And I think you got some of the charts that shows how much you would be paying.
Right.
Now, up to 250,000 fair market value, you pay nothing. And then after that, all the way up, I don't think I only went to 450,000. You would pay a lot less. And then with the sunset clause I've got in these, it would be changed every year. It would go up. Now, the Cherokee County started with 100,000 20 years ago, and it is now up to 156,400. So that means as long as you keep the fair market value of your house under $383,500, you don't pay in taxes. But you still pay very little taxes after that because that $153,400 is subtracted off of that 40%. So you're still saving a lot of money.
But we're talking about school tax.
School taxes only.
School
You gotta
taxes
pay county taxes.
Still gonna pay your county
Right,
tax.
right, right.
You gotta
This-
pay,
this
I don't
is
even
over
look
school.
at county taxes.
Right.
This is school tax only. There's no dittering around with county taxes. You pay that no matter what. But that's the way it works.
Okay.
So,
Could I?
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
One of the meetings I was at sometime last year, where the superintendent of schools was here, and he was talking or whatever, and I stand to be corrected. So anyway, he stated that they were planning on possibly building a new middle school.
no, they're not going to now.
Okay, because I was concerned if we get close to getting what we want, then they'll just throw that out, they'll throw that card out that they're going to build a school. They need that money.
They cajoled everybody into voting for that splosh.
Right.
It's for the children.
Right.
Yeah, and that e-splosh, and people fell for that line, and now, 2 years later, they're not gonna build a new school, there is not gonna be any new computers, there's not gonna be new anything. But they did have enough money to spend $1.3 million on artificial turf.
Yeah.
So the next time the e-splosh comes up, we'll vote against that sucker.
How concerned are they for the children when they're spending that much money?
Exactly, my point, that, yeah, they're not very concerned.
And the gentleman earlier said, you know, we all can't be athletes, okay?
Oh, that's right. And what about the poor kid that needs the computer?
Right.
That needs supplies?
Exactly. You know,
He can't go out and just cut a hunk of that turf out and turn it in and say, I want some.
Right.
Might be a good idea.
But I do suppose them spending that much money on astroturf.
That's right.
When it's gotta be replaced, the sun and the rain, the snow, all of it. In a few years, I don't know how many years after, but it's like the artificial grass you get to put on the video. It disintegrates after a while and it's gotta be replaced. So where are they gonna get the money for that?
Well, it's what they've done in professional fields for years. Why do we need that at high school?
And
These kids may become professionals.
Oh, well, then they'll get to play on AstroTurf then.
Yeah, poor bus drivers don't get, they only get paid on the road while they're on the road.
They sold everybody.
There's a lot of things going on in this county that needs fixed, and the only way we're gonna get it fixed is get new leadership.
Amen.
And we heard that they sold the middle school, and they took the money from that, and they're paying for all the kids' school supplies for this coming year.
That's gonna be used as a training center for.
Exactly. In fact, it's in there some, and part of
Where we
it's
get
law
money from
enforcement, I
that.
guess, right? Yeah. So where's that gonna go?
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna go to the schools or to the county coffers. I would hope so, but why are they wanting $27.5 million in budget this year?
Somebody's got to get a raise.
Well, the teachers had, yes, sir.
Okay, a couple of things. One, there's no doubt we can all moan and groan till hell freezes over about how things are going. But again,
We're venting.
what I'd like to know is what specifics folks that are here can do next and by when and so forth to move the issue along. That's the biggest thing.
Just email Gooch Payne and Jasper.
And just support
inundate
this
their
stuff.
email, send them a letter, and put the same thing in an email. You gotta overwhelm them with emails and letters, and keep at it. Keep at it.
And who is it that you have to email?
Let them know that they're going to vote.
Yeah, hang on, I'll get.
Give us the name. We're taking names. I've got their email addresses if anybody wants to write
Yes,
them down.
that'd be terrific.
That's for sure troublemaker.
Jasper's Payne and
I'd like to say something to this group. And I'll address this gentleman right here who brought up the expense of the school spending AstroTurf. Our legislators didn't spend that money. Anybody in here know how government works? I've heard a lot of talking. I've heard a lot of emotions. Because
anybody in here know how government works?
In relation to the law.
In relation to the law.
They call it law. The desert doesn't work towards the law. I'm offended.
All right, I've heard the county commissioners don't run this county. Our legislators do.
Right.
That is a lie. That is totally incorrect.
And you know this how?
Or the way it is or the way it's supposed to be.
Let's say the way it is designed to operate.
Exactly.
All right? The county commissioners run this county. They set the budget, and they send that budget downtown. Our school superintendent decides on what money to spend where, and how much money he's going to need next year, and he sends that downtown. The only thing that controls the county commission and the school superintendent are the citizens of the county, the voters of the county.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
I see a grassroots group here. If you want to change this county, we can change it. But it's going to take a lot more voters that own property in this county to raise moral hell with our commissioners and with our school superintendent and tell them to back off and do their jobs. And until we get those numbers in place, nothing is going to happen.
That's right.
That's right.
We had a vote of option 1 and option 2. That vote got defeated.
That was not a vote. That was
Well,
a
it's
straw
not a
poll.
defeat or.
All right, there's some more misinformation right there.
No, it is not.
A straw poll is not a win-lose thing.
Anybody got any information to share with this group in writing?
Yeah, I've got some stuff here, several things that were posted to the public that said it was going to be a straw poll, a non-binding vote.
I'm talking Georgia law or Georgia Constitution. Do you have anything in writing in Georgia law or Georgia Constitution that says anything about a straw poll?
No.
Because it doesn't exist.
You can call it whatever you want to, it's a non-binding vote.
Well, let me call it what it is. And I'm not upset with anybody in here. I am all for working towards getting more tax exemptions. I currently have 100%. I can't hardly buy dog food for my dogs. I can't afford new glasses. I can't afford medical procedures that I can't afford to pay the copay with. Almost lost my property already.
A lot of people in your position.
Well, and until we get enough voters behind us, nothing is going to happen. All right, any party that's recognized as a party, and the Republican and the Democrats and the nonpartisans are recognized as parties, can put on a ballot, which they did. The Democrats and the Republicans put an option on the ballot by law. It was accepted. It was put on the ballot. No problem. That ballot's an official ballot.
In a primary.
That ballot is an official ballot
In a
of the
primary.
party.
In a primary.
In a primary.
You're not electing anybody to any office in a
I'm
primary.
not saying we're talking about any elections. I'm talking about a party question
Yes.
by law that was put on a ballot.
For $40,000, I think is what you said it cost.
Yeah,
And it was defeated
it's not a
by
piece of,
votes.
It's a straw- it's a
but it's
poll,
not a
it's
piece
not
of
a vote.
legislation.
There is no such thing as a straw poll. It was, according to the law of
Non-binding
Georgia, a question
The question.
that a party put on their ballot. And that question got defeated on the ballot.
It's not a piece of
No, it was not
legislation.
defeated.
I didn't say it's a piece of legislation. I said it was a question. Quit turning my words around.
Here's language from Dan Poole, who wrote an article, Senior Tax. Regarding the senior tax exemption, both the Democrat and Republican ballots will have a non-binding straw poll question.
And that is
Basically
Poole's
asking if
opinion.
people favor creating a study commission.
This changed from the possible three options, the different exemptions discussed at the last meeting. William Bell, chairman of the local GOP, said over the weekend, they had negotiations and this is what they agreed on. It was not a binding vote, a non-binding.
Well, let me tell you what the state legislators think of the vote. I reached out to Chuck Payne. I reached out to Chuck Payne. Can I speak?
Yeah.
Thank you. Chuck Payne's answer to me. I know that neither Rick Jasper, Representative, Senator Steve Gooch, nor I, this is Chuck Payne speaking, as a senior legislative member, a senator, nor I will be carrying any such legislation to Atlanta. Their efforts to override the voters is a moot effort because he respects the ballot.
Funny, that doesn't sound like a letter you posted on Facebook.
Doesn't sound like what I've been told either.
It's exactly what I posted on Facebook, sir. And you can quote me, it's still on Facebook.
I'll look.
Please do. And you called me stupid, did you not, sir?
Read the next paragraph.
And you called me stupid, did you not, sir?
No, I did not. Read the next
And
paragraph.
that's on Facebook. All I'm saying is the legislators are not going to support you because a vote was taken. And that vote was taken on an official ballot by law. It was a party question by law.
A non-binding.
The Georgia laws will stand. And these people can tell you anything they want to tell you. I'm telling you, Georgia law, and Georgia Constitution. My dad was a Georgia constitutionalist who won Supreme Court cases in Clayton County over taxpayers' issues. And you can check the records of the Supreme Court of Georgia and look up James C. Trowner and see how many cases he won in the Supreme Court of Georgia.
Non-binding straw poll.
And that's what Pickens Progress
Yes.
opinion.
It's a news story that he wrote.
And that's a news story opinion.
Yeah.
It is not Georgia law.
Show us in Georgia law.
It is not constitutional.
Show us in Georgia law where you can't have a non-binding straw
I just
poll.
read the information out of Georgia law. There was a ballot, there was a vote,
No, there was not a
and there was
ballot.
a party question. And that party question did not succeed, or you would be speaking a different tune, and so would I. Because then we would have a legal right to do something.
You have it in your mind, so go right ahead and believe that.
I have it in Georgia law and the
No, you
Georgia
don't.
Constitution. Until you show me something in writing, I'm going to stand on that belief.
What code are you referencing? What Georgia code?
There is none.
This would deal with our election process.
What Georgia law code? What GOP code are you referencing?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not here anymore, but tell him.
So this is a waste of time, you saying?
Is that essentially what you're saying?
No, sir.
We're wasting our time?
Your concerns are not waste of time, but there's only one way to do it.
What's the Georgia code that
The
you're
Georgia
referencing?
code that I was citing was 21-2-285. The definitions of 21-2-2 are in Georgia code. They define the ballot. They define the vote. They define the party. They define what that question was, and it was a question according to Georgia law.
Well, I'm
And it
gonna,
got voted on.
I'm gonna explain to you how to circumvent that.
All right? I'm willing to listen to anything.
Okay. Here's how you circumvent what the commissioner, the tax appraiser, the school board is doing. You vote them out of office.
Yep, that's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
Long term.
I think not enough effort is being put forward to hold the county commissioner, the tax office, or the school board accountable for their budget.
Amen, sir.
This group, we need to start attending the school board.
This needs to be a grassroots.
We need to ask for when we are gonna get a copy of the budget, I've run a business my whole life. I've been here. How many people are longtime born Pickens County residents? Hold your hands up. Okay. The rest of us are the move-ins.
That's right. Well, I was sixth generation Georgia, so, you know.
And we
I was here before the
are
Revolution.
held with most resentment in this county.
That's right. The long time,
And the reason we're held in such high resentment is because most of us made a good or maybe a better than average life and income than the local people did here. And that's been thrown up to me, I can't tell you how many times. And so this is the battleground, and that's what this is. This is the battleground. It's the haves against the wish they haves. That's the battleground. If y'all don't think that's not true, you're not seeing what's happening in the local government. Nobody's held accountable. Nobody knows where the money's going. And we need to put the pressure on the school board budget, the county budget, and you know this answer, if I don't have a dog in a hunt, that don't fly with me. That's just not going to fly. We've got to hold these people accountable. And I'm not intimidated by any of them. I've known Rob Jones. We've been here 15 years.
As far as I'm concerned, we can have a recall election on that gentleman.
I've known Rob Jones. I know Roy Dog.
But it's going to take a lot of votes.
I know Johnny Weaver. We have encroached on these people. We've encroached on their ability to do the good old boy process. And let me tell you, it scares them. It scares them.
That's why they're fighting us.
That's why they're fighting us. One of our main objectives should be, we need to dive into that school budget with a microscope. We need to find out, are the tires for the buses being put out for bid? Are the paper clips, the pencils, how's that procured? I ran my own business. I didn't just go buy what I needed from one-stop shop. I put it out for bid. Lowest bid got the job. That's the way business works.
Well, federal runs that way. Does state or county also have to run that same way? I mean, the federal government, you have to put bids out. You have to get competitive bids and then pick from there. But do they have to do
Your
that?
county government.
We can't get an answer. We cannot get an answer. You know why we can't get an answer? They don't have a dog in it.
Your county runs the county.
But are they required by law to have to do that? Just like funds that are allocated, funds that are given into a pot and then they're allocated out. I mean, there's mechanisms in place to determine how all that's done. In the federal government, I'm guessing it would be the same in state or county.
Well,
probably state down to the county.
we need to quit guessing and start
Exactly,
thinking
no
in
question.
They're not afraid of the vote. About 10 years ago, I went to a county school board where they only have to go to the public if they're raising the mill rate. And they were raising the mill rate, they were forced to go to the public to have meetings. We had an overflow crowd in the room. They wanted $985,000 to buy land for the next high school. Not this high school, the next high school. And they wanted the money because prices were low, and they wanted to go ahead and buy it now and save money for the future. Because I said, why don't you let the people in the future pay for it and not me? But they don't listen. They have no reason to listen. 2 years later, I went back to the meeting where they were again raising the rate and asked them, where's the land they bought with the $985,000? Oh, we didn't buy the land. Well, what did you do with it? It just went into the budget. They spent the $985,000. They're not afraid of the vote.
There needs to be accountability.
As long as there's a handful of people like this fighting them, we're never going to win.
No, exactly.
No, you gotta have
It would take a groundswell. I want to ask you one other question, Mr. Trammell.
Yes.
How can you have a legal vote in this county when a whole lot of people did not have the opportunity to vote?
Right.
It's not a legal vote. People were excluded from the vote.
No. How were they excluded? Because
The question was not on the nonpartisan ballot.
All right. We're talking a ballot that is legal. Do we all agree a ballot's legal?
Yes.
Do we all agree your vote on a ballot is official?
Yes.
If it's a vote, yes.
Do we all agree they all
Each
count?
party can put a question on the ballot. It wasn't about voting this into the county. If you want to call it a straw poll, call it a straw poll. But it was a party question by Georgia law.
Non-binding.
And that's all it was.
William
No,
Bell,
it is not non-binding. That's
William
where you're
Bell,
making a mistake.
in every speech that William Bell has been to all of our meetings, and Mr. Robinson too, they both said this is a non-binding straw poll.
But that's where you were lied to or misinformed
No,
by.
because after the vote, I was told to push forward because there was enough interest.
Who told you that?
I'm not going to tell you.
Now, see, that's the problem.
No, it's not.
Because a state representative and a state senator have told me it was a legal vote.
You know, the real problem is, as you were saying, it was a question on the Republican Party ballot,
Question.
also on the Democratic Party ballot. It was a party question. As far as the party is concerned, that's the way they feel. As far as this party is concerned, that's the way they feel. That is not the same as a general election.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it's a party question.
So if it is, it doesn't matter what the parties want.
If that party question would have won,
There's no
your
way
state
to
senator and your
But
state
the point is, it
representative
doesn't
would
matter
be
what the
behind
party
this.
wanted.
Now, if there had been 1,500 votes for option 2, I would have been told, no, there's not enough interest. But there was more than 2,300, so I was told there was enough interest to push forward.
Well, you can push all you want to. You'll see how far it goes in the Georgia law and the Georgia
Well, that
Constitution.
remains to be
And the
seen.
representatives that are going to bring that legislation.
That remains to be
Because
seen.
they're not going to bring it, because they've already told me they're not going to get involved.
You didn't read the last paragraph of that letter.
What you want to hear.
I read exactly what
The last
he
paragraph.
sent me.
The last paragraph, please.
I'm not sure what paragraph you're talking
Of
about.
the message that you got from the senator.
That was the message I got from him.
You didn't read all of it.
We can talk about that. There's almost 20,000 voters in this county registered active. 5,101 voted in the primary. 25%. That's the problem with this county. It's our citizens who do not want to get involved. We have to get them involved.
That's why
The
we got
school
this.
superintendents and the county commissioners are totally responsible for their budgets that they send downtown, and they control those figures and those numbers, and they're never going to listen to us until we have enough voters that they'll listen. And if that takes having a recall vote and throwing them out of office, and if it costs money, you have to have enough voters to pay for that. To demand a recall and to have them thrown out of office by law. That is how
You can't even get
government
them to vote,
works.
you're probably not going to get them to do that.
Yeah.
That is how government
Seriously.
works.
They live under the old rule of, we've always done it this way.
Exactly.
This was
Well,
probably
you're doing it
the
illegally.
first time in history that both the Republicans and Democrats voted for something. They both voted against it.
Wow, does that mean they actually agree?
Both parties, if one of the parties would have voted for it, and one of the parties would have voted against it, I might agree with Lee that we might have an argument. But both parties voted that question down on an official ballot by a legal vote. And if you think you can do anything with that, have fun.
Okay.
You don't
Anybody
understand the
else?
law.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Anybody else got anything to say?
Well, you already said it earlier about the wording of them questions. When I first read them, it confused me. If I didn't come to that meeting here and you explained it, I wouldn't know which way to vote myself. I mean, is that our representatives again that's giving the confusing language?
Well, if you notice, they do a lot of stuff that's confusing.
Were they the ones that came up with the 22?
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with writing it. It was
Can
done.
we get a copy of that email so that we can confront our officials with it? That they sent you? So we
Yes, ma'am,
can,
I'll send it to anybody in here. I'll start a Facebook group if you want.
no, forget Facebook.
How else are we gonna communicate?
What's your email address?
My email address.
If we all keep bickering amongst ourselves, we're not gonna get anything
No,
done.
I agree.
We need to start pulling as a team.
I'm all for making changes.
Well, come 2020.
First thing we need to do is get rid of the commissioners. We've got, been there forever and ever. We need to throw them out of office, start all
Unless they
over
die.
again with some new people.
Well, I don't think we want to go there.
Everybody here who voted today in the election, please stand.
I didn't vote today, but I early voted.
Well, that's a lot of voters.
It's the school board you gotta get afraid of the vote. County commission does not control the school board.
We got
does it?
we got a new school board member, and that young guy, Green. We got, Brian, Byron Long replaced with him. So he's bringing in, I've been talking to,
Well, she'll speak for you.
he's bringing in some new ideas, so we can get some new blood. Next election.
And how long would it take you?
He's still in college.
You know, I wish I was 22. A 22-year-old.
And he's still in college.
Has he ever put a budget together? Has he ever made a mortgage?
I don't know. He
Has he
has to
ever
have
made
a
a car
basketball.
payment? Has he ever put a kid through college? He doesn't have a clue.
But at least he's a star. He's a star.
Okay.
You know, they were talking earlier about the website, how option one is a website, and that goes. We really need a website that you can put information out there, the contact, and I know handouts are great, but if we had a website that we could put the facts out there, because you said there was misinformation in their website.
Well, I got my website, Pickens Seniors.
That is, I could,
Got a lot of information.
You need to have a whole social media wall.
if I knew, I
I
had.
found that kind of edgy, but I didn't send it to somebody else sent it to but I can answer, but it's got information.
I have a question for y'all. How many of you know whether or not the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, last year, let me figure out, is the same as now? Is the same assistant superintendent, or has he changed and moved on?
Assistant.
Assistant. He's changed?
Yes.
There you go.
Anybody want the senator's emails?
Yes.
Excuse me, let me finish. The reason I'm asking that is, a year ago, I went and spoke. I ended up speaking to the assistant superintendent because I was inquiring about subbing because I'm a former teacher. And I asked him in conversation about the situation with the current superintendent. There was a lot of flux. And he volunteered, well, the last superintendent, we paid a salary, provided a car, and provided a house.
And they got rid of her too.
But that just shows me the poor choices of spending our money. It's ridiculous.
Because they don't have a watchdog of the voters.
They don't.
Citizens are not demanding more.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Anytime you hear their little mantra, it's for the children,
it's not.
don't you believe it?
No, it's not.
If they don't raise the mill rate, they don't even have to, you don't even get to talk to them about it. They don't even have to have meetings.
Well, if you notice, budget of the schools went from 42.3 to 45.7, I think. They didn't raise our mill rate. They got the money from QBE, from the state, in other words. So anytime that money needs to be made up, they get it from the state, they get it from grants. They're not losing any money by letting seniors have an exemption. And it's not 100% exemption. And it's not going to affect everybody, just the ones who need it. It's not going to affect everybody. And I can't get them to understand that. Daniel Bell has come up with some figures like, oh, we're going to be $6 million short. Well, he's not. He's assuming every senior will take 100% exemption. And my figures show it's only about $2.5 million. And that's only if all 3,000 houses that's owned by people 65 and over take the exemption, and they won't. 80% of Big Tree and Big Canoe is owned by people that don't live there full time. So it won't even be 2 million short. I'm assuming everybody's going to take the exemption.
I say we sell the football field. I'll vote for that.
Right, go cut it up and give it.
Did we put that on the ballot for 2019?
Yeah,
As a party option?
we played on grass and dirt and we survived.
So are there, school board meetings?
Yeah, they post them on their website.
Yeah.
So we need to go.
PickensGeorgia.org, Pickens County,
There's not enough
Georgia.org.
voters that show up to get their attention.
So we all need to go. And we need to bring
We need to
them
get more citizens in this
If it would help.
county involved.
Doesn't
That's the
matter, it's a
bottom line.
start.
Yeah, it's
Can't
hard,
hurt.
but they don't listen to you, is what I'm saying.
20 or 30 people sending
They don't
letters,
care.
there ain't gonna get nothing.
Well, another
You send
thing,
them 10,000 letters.
You need to stop talking like that.
Yeah.
You,
I'm sorry,
don't come in there and listen.
the school board,
Yeah, they're gonna listen.
they'll listen, but
You're
then they
gonna
go right
listen.
along
You
and
need to
do what they
start,
want.
the more people that go,
Well, we
you overcome them. You know, they don't dare talk to you that much. They don't talk down to you when you got 5 times more people in there
They're
than
good
them.
now. Daniel Bell was good last year. So many of us complained about Little Mayberry. He held a special meeting for just us. And that was a packed room. And that made a difference.
Right.
So they do listen sometimes. But I think the reason they did listen was they were getting ready to get rid of her anyway. Because we brought up the fact, hey, they're giving her a free car, a free phone, a free house, in Big Canoe, no less, to live in.
And how many of the teachers don't even live in Pickens County?
About a third of them. About a third of the people that's employed by Pickens County School
Don't even
don't
live
live
in
in.
when they are not property owners.
I have no problem against teachers.
$1,700 a month house.
I think they ought to make everything they can make. But our teachers in this county, according to the Pickens Progress, are the 9th highest paid teachers in
Yes,
the state of Georgia.
and the state
Now, I don't mind the
rates C and D.
teachers. My problem is the state school superintendent who doesn't manage his budget. I have no problem with the teachers. The teacher's salary is about that much of his budget. So when I say we have the 9th highest paid teachers, I'm not against teachers at all. I'm against the state school superintendent misspending money on AstroTurf, on school supplies without a vote,
And another,
or without any input from the citizens.
Another
And we're gonna pay that bill.
to your point, is the state rates Pickens County schools a C and a D, but yet our teachers are the 9th highest paid in the state.
Our Pickens County schools rated by the governor's office. The governor's office of school achievement. Overall, our schools are rated C in Georgia.
But more money doesn't.
Hill
mean
City is
better
rated as C. Harmony is rated as D. Pickens County Middle is rated as C. Pickens County High School is rated as C. Jasper Elementary is rated as D. Tate Elementary is rated as D. And Jasper Middle is rated as C.
But yet they want 47.5
And
million.
they want $47.5 million for their school budget. And that has nothing to do with teacher salaries.
Because they
With those ratings like that, how are they being allocated that kind of money?
Because the
typically if they're
state
like a
school
family-
superintendent says, I need this money, and sends it downtown with no opinion and no objections from the citizens of this community.
What about the people that have kids in school? Are they not complaining that these kids aren't learning anything, like no more cursive writing? You go and open an account at the bank.
Obviously
How are
not.
you going to sign, how are you going to even sign your name with an X? That doesn't work. That
I've
doesn't
got
work.
some friends that have kids in school. You don't want to know what they think of this.
It's not just Pickens, that's a state thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Our schools have become a babysitting operation
Right.
that take care of kids, and they're not held accountable for their education.
so how many of you are going to show up at the next school board meeting?
So how do we know when?
We need more than this.
Yeah.
What we need to do is reach out to your neighbors
Yes.
and your fellow landowners and your fellow property owners, because that's the voice of this community, are the citizens. We run this government. We absolutely run this government. It's
They're our
ours.
employees, but it don't do any good.
It ain't the county commissioners, and it's not the state school superintendent, and it's not our school superintendent who runs. We run this county. The problem is, we only had 25% of the voters vote in a primary.
The point is, like he says, we do nothing.
And that's why it keeps getting out of hand.
If we can get this senior tax exemption passed, they'll have to have some kind of accountability. They'll have to have.
How about when we get it passed?
Yeah, when we get it passed, yeah. Well, we're working on that. We're working on that.
Are you going to put together a committee? Is there going to be a committee?
Yeah, supposedly it'll be made up from the, Mr. Robinson and Mr. Bale would be picking them.
Committee to get this thing through?
Yeah, they'll be down at the Capitol. I hadn't heard anything yet. I
Where
think
will
they're,
they pick their committee members from?
if you volunteer, I think if you volunteer, they want about 20 people. So I hadn't talked to them lately, they've been busy with this.
From the county?
Thing. I'm sorry?
From this county?
Yes, citizens, business owners. I invited a lot of business owners. Me and Kathy and her husband went around to all these businesses in town and invited them here to see what they got to say about it. But apparently, they don't have anything to say about it. They're not here.
But you know, if we take that email that he's received and put it in our businesses and hand it out, it's like, folks, you're fighting for something that it's just like I was told. Roy Don said, hell no, that's never going through. Well, if these guys are our officials and they aren't going to do anything, then it's time people got up,
That's
like
what I'm
I've
saying.
said, get off your butts and go do something.
Inundate their email box.
Well, I'm
Embarrass
going to copy it and I'll pass it out.
Yeah.
I'll make sure everybody gets it.
Now, they tell me different things. And they tell
Well-
other people. Now, somebody sent me another email that was
We'll find
campaign
out.
that said the same thing. So they're politicians. They tell you what you want to hear. And what they're going to do is different from what they told you, and what's different from what they told you. What they're going to do is different.
Well,
They're
if you call them
politicians.
on it, and it's like, okay, you said this, but yet you're sending out this email, where are you standing?
Yeah.
Where do you
Exactly.
stand?
Exactly.
You don't stand for anything.
No, they don't.
Or for whatever.
They just tell you what you want to hear,
They tell
and they
you
go
what you
and
want
do
to
something
hear.
else completely different.
Unless you do.
If there's anything else, we gotta end the meeting, Mary's gotta go, it's gotta be somewhere at 7:30. Everybody got your say-so in?
If anybody wants the senator's email or representative's email, I'll be more than happy to give them.
I got them too.